Towards the end of every Irish summer, the heartbeat of the greyhound racing world comes from one place. For almost a century, since the sport of greyhound racing was introduced to the Emerald Isle, the Irish Greyhound Derby has been more than a race. It's the centrepiece of the sport, a must-visit occasion for greyhound racing enthusiasts from around the world. Shelbourne Park, the perfect venue where legends are forged. From a Spanish battleship to Manaville Magic.
Manaville makes ground on the inside, but has he got it? In racing up to the finish, Max Knock from on the inside, Manaville might have got up on the inside to catch Max Knock. A tremendous finish to the Derby.
From Tom's the Best to College Causeway.
But the Causeway is flying in second off the final bend, and here comes the Causeway up to St. College Causeway, wins the Derby. A magnificent performance. He came from nowhere. He's undoubtedly the greatest dog we've seen in years. College Causeway has roared his way into the record books.
The Roll of Honour reads like a history of the sport itself. To lift the Derby trophy is to earn immortality. In 2024, the BOYLE Sports Derby delivered another unforgettable chapter. Run later in the year than usual, it was a damp night in Shelbourne Park, but a night few will forget. The field contained proven performers, rising stars, and a greyhound that would establish himself as one of the all-time greats. Bockos Diamond, the shortest priced Derby favourite in the long history of the classic, was simply unstoppable.
But Bockos Diamond is on by 3, 4 lengths. Cheap Sandwiches in second, Callaway Kinnegar in third, 16.85, not as fast as normally, but up front it's still Bockos Diamond, 3 Cheap Sandwiches giving us all, Callaway Kinnegar and 2 Singing on Dolly. But Bockos Diamond is the greatest ever. He's won the Derby.
A famous and history-equaling 4th Derby title for the master trainer Graham Holland.
I couldn't do it without them. It's a team effort. Everybody plays their part, and from my wife to my son to everybody who works there, I thank them very much.
People have seen wonderful greyhounds, and I can't speak for them dogs, but in my lifetime he's the best I've ever seen.
Fast forward to August 2025. The Derby returns, providing the best greyhounds on the planet another chance to claim a place amongst the immortals. A full field of 144, boasting some familiar names, including defending champion Bockos Diamond and his old foe, Cheap Sandwiches. It was a renewal featuring one of the strongest fields of modern times, proven champions, explosive youngsters, and an overseas challenge. And, as we would find out, a series of storylines that stretched far beyond the sand. Would this year's champion come from one of the established stars? Would new names come to the fore in the early rounds? Could Bockos Diamond become only the second greyhound in history to retain his Derby crown? Or would Cheap Sandwiches go one better than 2024 and emulate his kennel companion? Plenty of questions, but we would have to wait for some of the answers. The opening round of any Irish Greyhound Derby is never about comfort. 24 heats, spread across Friday and Saturday, 4 to qualify from each. It's a margin that suggests safety. But in a derby like this, there is no room for error. Friday night belonged to the established name. Champions, headline acts, and proven big race performers, all stepping onto the Derby stage with expectation heavy on their shoulders. Amongst them, Cheap Sandwiches, who had gone so close the previous year. He was a hot favourite to win the opening contest of the 2025 Derby. The start of a journey that would last 5 weeks, contained some 55 exceptional races and a storyline that would provide many twists. Could Cheap Sandwiches emulate another famous name, Manorville Magic, and go from Derby runner-up to Derby champion in the space of a year. The 2024 runner-up did exactly what was required. No fireworks, no risks, just a controlled display. It wasn't about headlines, it was about progression. By all accounts, he's still a major player in this town.
He is, and like he's just so professional about how he does things. His last couple of starts probably haven't hit the heights that we know he's capable of. Of Graham's 3 big ones, I'd say he's the one that has the most possibly even left, because 29.53, it's a savage run, but we know he's capable of an awful lot quicker and an awful lot better. But who knows? He was runner-up here last year. He could go one better again this year. Like, if that's the benchmark, 29.50, he's going to go deep in the Derby.
If Heat 1 was relatively calm, Heat 5 was anything but. The defending champion, Bockos Diamond, returned to Shelbourne Park carrying history, expectation and the weight of a target on his back. Certainly a significant heat. The defending champion, Bockos Diamond, in action, taking on notable rivals. But the Derby waits for no one. Epic ace, hugely talented, devastatingly quick, delivered a brilliant performance to surprise those in the stands. Bockos Diamond beaten, a reminder that past glory offers no protection in a Derby campaign.
He showed great determination to actually challenge Bockos and go in front of it, man. He really impressed me.
The defeat of Bockos Diamond aside, Friday night went well for Graham Holland. Wins for Cheap Sandwiches, Bombay Pat and Sword Style. A treble in opening night. A powerful opening move in his bid to land a record 5th Irish Greyhound Derby. English Derby finalist Bombay Pat, so unlucky to exit this competition at the semi-final stages in 2024, returned with unfinished business, securing his second round spot as he went faster than any other dog over the opening weekend. Bombay Pat is a fast greyhound, no kidding. He is just a monster, because when he gets going, he really does get going. 29-27, genuinely, like, you can see him going faster. There was also a perfect start for the English Challenge. Proper RS, the UK's finest, showed exactly why he travelled in Heat 7. Professional, powerful and precise. The Mark Wallace-trained star justified favouritism with authority.
Fair play to him for coming over.
Yeah.
We say it year in, year out. The more UK runners we can get over here, it's only good for the game. And I urge everyone this side of the pond to be supporting and cheering them on as well, because I know how much of a job it is to embark on that trip, and it's not easy. It takes a fair effort, and long may Proper RS stay in the competition, because
it's one thing for us to go over there,
yeah,
but like they're really coming to the lines now. Familiar names were also to the fore. Former English Derby winner Da reminded everyone of his class in Heat 8. And minutes later, one of the stars of 2025, Champion Stakes winner Seven Beach, delivered a professional display, stamping his ticket to the next round without drama. It was also a good night for Robert Gleeson and Carl Ramsbottom, each recording a double. Droopy's Patriot, so impressive as he went fastest for Gleeson, and Check for Cash for Ramsbottom. Both men setting out their stall early in a competition where momentum matters. Friday night had delivered reassurance for the favourites, a warning to the complacent, and more than a few hints at how brutal the road to Derby glory would be. If Friday night was about the established stars, Saturday offered opportunity, a chance for new names to emerge, for reputations to be built under the brightest lights of all. And on a night defined by ambition, the ladies stepped forward. 4 of the 12 heats won by the fairer sex, a powerful statement in a derby where there is no distinction between the two genders. Ballymacdanica struck first, showing composure and grit to advance. Magical on Fire followed, living up to her name with a sharp, decisive display. Magical Sapphire added another chapter to an impressive opening round for the girls.
Magical Keith couldn't hold on last week. Can he hold on this week? Magical Sapphire won't be stopping.
But of the girls, it was Lenny's Dream who made the biggest impression. A performance of real purpose, and one that forced the Shelbourne Park faithful to take notice. Fast, fluent, and fearless. She was electric. If she keeps trapping like that, you will be a mighty happy man.
She will keep trapping like that. This lady in trials at home is absolutely dynamite.
Yet, The fastest performance of the night came elsewhere. Rollo Tokyo. Damien McGinn sent out his star to produce a devastating display, winning Heat 19 by a street in a notable 29-29. Over a length quicker than Lenny's Dream, the fastest of the females. It was a performance that didn't just see him qualify, but send out a warning. Rollo Tokyo, this was his coronation. This was the night where he basically said, this is what I'm capable of. Because runs in Dundalk were good. His runs in Shelbourne were good. But this was sensational. This was otherworldly. And just seems to be a dog who is thriving. There was further joy for Robert Gleeson. Carrick Scholesy impressed in his assignment, sealing Gleeson's treble across the two nights. Consistency rewarded at the highest level. And the UK Challenge continued to make its presence felt. Ballymac Axel showed real strength to land Heat 23, the penultimate contest of the opening round, a performance full of promise. With the opening round complete, the betting markets reacted. Bombay Pat, Carrick Scholesy, Rollo Tokyo, all amongst the big movers, their opening statements impossible to ignore. Yet, at the head of the betting, a familiar name remained. Despite defeat, the defending champion Bockos Diamond was still entrusted with favouritism, respect earned through past greatness. And Sheep Sandwiches, a 14-1 chance before a blow had been struck, he drifted slightly to 16-1. No hype, no rush, just another Derby contender. Still, very much finding his place in the Classic. This only the beginning. The opening round had delivered plenty. It had revealed contenders. It had reshaped expectations. But now, it meant nothing. 96 runners returned, all starting again, all forced to earn their place once more. This time, only 3 would qualify from each of the 16 heats, once again run across Friday and Saturday. Even less room for error, reputation counting for nothing. Now, it was about survival. Friday night brought the sports elite back into the spotlight. Bockos Diamond, the defending champion, the market leader. And his kennel companion, Sheep Sandwiches, the 2025 champion and runner-up, again playing a starring role. But it was another with Derby credentials who set the tone. Maiden Derby champ, Shanahy Boomer, dominated in the opening heat. An ever-professional, ever-reliable performer, a display that reminded the field exactly what it takes to survive at this stage. Heat 3 delivered one of the moments of the round. Magical Mag was indeed magical, exploding from the boxes and daring the field to catch her. Former English Derby champion Deladdy Da loomed large in pursuit, but Magical Mag held firm in a thrilling finish. A new name, forcing her way into the Derby conversation.
Magical Mag, this is more like what she's capable of, 17.06 at the third bend, and when she does it, she's going to be a fierce, tough nut to crack.
Minutes later, it was time for Bockos Diamond to return to winning ways after his surprise opening round defeat. Composed, clinical, commanding. The old sparkle, very much still there. And then to round out Friday's action, Sheep Sandwiches. Sharper from the boxes, more fluent throughout, a subtle but significant step forward. Just 1/100th of a second faster than 7 days earlier, but visually a far more convincing display. Unbeaten, unfussed, still building.
He rocks on, and I think there'll be a price slash tomorrow.
Probably,
just showing signs that, you know, he's almost been disrespected for the last week. You know, he was only 4th or 5th in the betting. You know, I think he's after saying to the boys, listen, don't forget about me.
24 hours later, the second round resumed, and the standard rose again. Once more, Bombay Pat took centre stage. Brutally efficient, ruthlessly direct, Prince Nassim chased valiantly, but the outcome was never in doubt. 29:17, the fastest time of the Derby so far. A statement that echoed through Shelbourne Park and the betting markets. In Heat 11, another new name announced himself. Glengar Silent, one of the youngest in the entire Derby field, boasting an incredible pedigree, the son of Droopy Sydney, and Derby runner-up Sing-Along Sally displayed blistering pace to surge clear. A commanding win for former Derby winning handler Pat Buckley.
Yeah, he's only a youngster. he was very impressive there, in fairness. Got himself in a handy pitch early doors, and I knew from then on that he'd be very strong. And, you know, he took a great third bend and he took it on from there. And yeah, listen, he kind of got things wrong last week, but he's come on and it's great.
Youth, speed, potential. The world at Glengar Silent's feet. And then a moment that perfectly captured the fine margins of Derby racing. UK Challenger, proper RS. Only fifth into the turn after a tardy start, but sometimes fortune intervenes. A dream run along the fence, and suddenly he was in front. From nowhere to victory. Proof that in the Derby, sometimes luck can be your best friend. Maybe, just maybe, it was written in the stars. 2 rounds complete, 48 remain. The contenders were emerging, pretenders failing away. The Derby was beginning to take shape, but the hardest tests were still to come.